This is the ETBU Sportsnet Coaches Show. I'm Kenneth Klein. Today, we're joined by head women's basketball coach Edsel Hamilton. Coach, you're coming off a couple of games. We'll recap the first two games against Rust College and Louisiana College. Take us through those two games.
Well, Rust was a great game for us to, we got a lead early and we were able to extend it and keep extending the lead and we were able to win big. They're having a tough season. They're kind of in the same boat as us as far as not getting a lot of wins, but it doesn't matter who we're playing. We're just happy to get a win. We really did a good job on their best players early in the game, and that kind of frustrated them a lot. And we got to play a lot of people and had a lot of different people play well. I think our freshmen have really just kept improving this year, and been able to give them more and more minutes over these last few games. So it was good to get a big win. Any win we'll take, obviously, but to beat somebody as bad as we did always, is fun to have those kind of games. Obviously, I wish we won every game, but I know when I was at Baylor, we talk a lot about, it's fun to be in close games and stuff, but I like the big ones where it's easy. You can kind of be comfortable there on the end and not be having a heart attack if the different things bounce different ways. So, but anyway, it was a good win to get. And then the LC game on Saturday, I was hoping we'd be fresh legs because we had, gotten to rest everybody a lot. Nobody played more than 24 minutes in that game on Thursday night, and LC had played 2 games before. But we just turned the ball over too much. It's the same thing we've been having problems with all year. We had 18 turnovers in the first half, and we don't want to have that many for an entire game. We had that in the first 20 minutes, so. That was frustrating that we dug ourselves a gigantic hole, and it started from the very beginning of the game. Our first 2 possessions, we threw the ball away. The first one, they got an uncontested layup out of it, and that's been a lot of our problem defensively. Again, I still think our half-court defense is not as bad as the numbers look. I think we just give people too many uncontested layups off of turnovers where you throw the ball away going uphill or downhill, whatever the correct word is, and where they just get a run-out layup, and you see that ball go in the basket a couple times, it starts making you feel better about your jump shots and everything else. And we've had a lot of games where people just hit shots on us, and a lot of that's because they get confidence from getting uncontested layups early in the game. I think our kids really fought back, and we were down by over 20, and we ended up cutting to 3 or 4, something like that, and just battled. And I've been just trying to bottle that. We can outscore somebody by like 18 in about 6-7 minutes. If we could just do that all the time, we'd be really good, But and obviously, you got to look at it from both sides. Like, they're probably taking their foot off the gas a little bit when they get a big lead. But our kids have done that all year. They don't quit. They don't give up, and so that's been fun to watch. And again, I really think that's going to help us going into next year. When we get a year older, a year more experienced, a year better with all these young players that we have. Or if we are in those, obviously we'd like to be ahead early, but if we get into those situations, we know that we've got the toughness to not quit and to keep fighting to get back in the game.
Last night you played Hardin-Baylor, and that was another tough game on the road especially. Take us through that game.
Yeah, they're really good. They've got a really good depth. The thing that they've got that we don't have really is they've got some upperclassmen that were played a lot last year that were good, that are giving their young players time to kind of work more into natural roles for them. Now, having said that, their young players and their bench played great against us. I think they've got really 2 girls that have really kind of led the way for them this year. They're seniors, John L. Smith and Kendra Wynn, and we did a good job on them defensively for the whole game. I think John L. Smith only hit 2 shots. She hit 2 threes, one in the first quarter and one in the third quarter. I think it was the only shot she hit the whole game. And then Kendra Wynn, I think, maybe only had 2 or 4 points, something like that. But their bench kids just made a lot of shots, and they got a lot of transition layups too. And we got to get better at our transition defense. That's something that hasn't really been a big deal for us this year, other than off turnovers. But these were off of our misses that they were taking off and going. And I started a different lineup this time, and one of the double-edged sword, good and bad thing about that lineup is that all 5 of those kids can rebound. And I really was emphasizing rebounding this week because UMHB was leading the conference in offensive rebounding, and wanted to make sure that we didn't get beat on the boards. But in doing that, I think I got them all in that mentality. We have 5 people going to the offensive boards and nobody getting back in transition a bunch, and they just leaked somebody out, and if we didn't come up with the ball, they were just throwing it up the floor and getting a layup. So it's just little things like that wind up being big things over the course of the game. We did a really good job of hanging with them in the first half. I think we ended up only down 6 at halftime, something like that. We had a really good second quarter. We shot the ball well. This is really the first game where we really shot the ball well from outside. I think Packett hit some threes, and then Lainey Lee has really gotten her first significant minutes of the year. And it's one of the things I said about we moved shot A to the 3 just to try to open some things up, because we got some freshman posts that are playing really well, and I got to try to figure out how to get them on the floor, get some minutes for them. And Lainey played great when she was in there. She shot the ball well. She was really engaged defensively, and in the right place and everything, and so that was good to see. But it was kind of an adjustment game for us too, just trying to work a different lineup and see how that worked. And I think it looked good in stretches, but they didn't look totally comfortable. And again, things like who's back in transition is something that we're gonna have to work on a little more to get better at. But like I said, they made a lot of shots in the second half. It seemed like we were right there a lot of the time in the half court with a hand up, and they bounce in, or they made a lot of mid-range jumpers. And so they're a good team. I think they've got a great shot to be the host in the tournament this year. I think they're one of the best teams in the West, and West champion gets to host this year. So they're really good, and I don't think losing them is a bad loss. But obviously, we wish margin hadn't been as bad as it was. If we'd competed a little bit better in the second half and not let them kind of get away from us, would have felt a little bit better about it.
You're back home this Saturday against Belhaven. You faced them twice last year, so what are your thoughts on Belhaven and what we can expect to see on Saturday?
They've got a lot of new players. They're having a really good season so far. I think they're 8-5. Their games don't count towards conference this year. They will next year. I think in their conference games they're 3-3. They beat Howard-Payne real bad last week. They beat Sul Ross. So they're having a good year, and they brought in a lot of JUCO players. So they've got a lot of new players, but they've got a lot of experienced college players that are just trying to fit new pieces together, but they are experienced college players. I think they've only got one freshman on the roster, which is kind of crazy as opposed to our 11. So they're good. I haven't got to watch them on film yet. I've been kind of doing the written part of the scouting report so far of plugging in stats and kind of see who's playing for them. They've got a couple kids back from last year that they're 2 leading scorers from last year back, and they're still their 2 leading scorers this year again too. They got a point guard that can really score, and then a wing player that's just a good, solid player who can shoot a little bit and do a little bit of other things too. Obviously, the first time we played them last year, I thought was one of our best overall team wins of the season. I think everybody played a lot, and everybody shared the ball, and that was really good. Now they were missing the point guard in that game when we played him over there. We played him back here. It was on our senior day, and didn't start the game off great because it was a little too emotional from senior day stuff. But once we got settled in and got a little comfortable in the second half, we pulled away pretty easily. But like I said, they're good. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly what they're doing yet, just because I got to get in the film room and watch them a little bit more. But it's going to be a tough game for us, and we don't care if it counts towards conference standings or not. We try to win every game we play. So we're gonna prepare for them just like we do for everybody else, and see if we can get a win on Saturday.
All right, Coach. Thanks for talking to us on the ETBU Sportsnet.